Hi guys. So on a number of occasions I've said that the day Michel Barnier sat down with David Davis, this should have been the moment. And it probably was the moment that Michel Barnier realised that the UK is not serious about having a trade deal. They're not serious about negotiating. Michel Barnier sat down with David Davis, who knew nothing about negotiations, and he didn't even bother to arrive with a pen and paper. Literally, he didn't have a pen and paper in front of him. But the negotiations started anyway. The European Union were respectful to the UK. The European Union are adamant about defending its members and the peoples of those member states. But let me allow Michel Barnier, the chief negotiator, to present it much better than I ever could.
Since the start of these negotiations, the UK has not shown any willingness to seek compromises on fisheries. Contrary to media reports, even this week, the UK government's position has not evolved in past months. No new legal texts have been tabled by UK negotiators. Where the EU has shown openness to possible solutions, the UK has shunned our offers. Yet the UK government's positions would lock out Ireland's fishermen and women from waters they fished in long before Ireland or the UK joined the European Economic Community in 1973. And of course, the fishermen and women of many other EU countries, that is just not acceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, we fully understand and respect that the UK will become an independent coastal state outside the common fishery policy, outside of this European policy. But we will not accept that the work and the livelihoods of these men and women be used as a bargaining chip in these negotiations. Any solution must ensure a balance between further developing the activities of British fishermen and women, safeguarding the activities and livelihood of European fishermen and women, and preserving natural resources. Without a long-term, fair and sustainable solution on fisheries, there will simply be no new economic partnership with the UK.
This is quite sad. It's quite sad that the chief negotiator of the European Union has to go on TV. He's interviewed here by the Irish government. It was broadcast on YouTube. But he has to explain this to the people of the UK and the people of the EU. The UK has never been interested in actually negotiating in a fair way. What happens is the Tories and the Brexiteers will say, we want this. The European Union will say, well, what you want is not achievable. And then they will run back to the newspapers and they will say that the EU is blocking the negotiations, or the EU is making unreasonable demands, and it's not our fault. And then further to that, what they will say is that the EU are trying to force us to stay in the European Union. We don't want to be a member. We voted to leave. We want to get out, but the EU don't want us to get out. And then they'll use whatever political tools they can to blame the EU for their own shortcomings. I've said this before. The Brexiteers didn't know what they wanted. They said, we want to leave. They never actually said what leaving meant. There was Nigel Farage or anyone like that never talked about what would happen after. Now, they made ridiculous suggestions of a Canada-style deal and a Swiss-style deal and a Norway-style deal. Now, those things haven't materialized. Now, is it because Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson didn't know, or was it because they were lying? I'll let you decide. the UK is attempting to cherry pick. They want good parts and they want to ignore the parts that they don't like. That's not going to work. The EU and the UK need to come to an agreement. I would prefer them to come to an agreement. The EU has been respectful here. They said, these are our basic positions. The UK want to have a deal, it seems, but at the same time don't want to have a deal. The government say one thing, and their friends in the media say something different. And Michel Barnier is referring to this also, how there's a contrast in what chief negotiator for the UK is saying and what the media is saying. The European Union are consistent. There isn't some sort of trickery going on with the European Union. When the European Union say, we want to do X, everyone in the European Union, for example, from the Council to the Parliament, will say, yes, we want to do X. We want to do that. Well, in the UK, it seems to be a member of government says, we want to do this. The chief negotiator says something else. A report in the Express, which is a pro-Tory, pro-Brexit newspaper, will say something else. And I think Michel Barnier has become tired of all this back and forth. He realizes this is just time wasting. This seems to be an exercise to defend the Tories from Brexiteers in the party who want to tear it apart. Or on the other side, it's about maintaining donations from Brexit supporting millionaires and billionaires who maintain the party. This was never serious, and it's demonstrated by sending non-serious people, or the people at the top making non-serious requests. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?